When you're a kid, did you ever dream about what it would be like to be rich? I used to have that dream. And I thought, wow, it would be so cool. I'd have this really big house. I'd drive a fancy car. Then I got all crazy and I think, maybe if I was so rich, I could have a roller coaster in my backyard. Wouldn't that be great? Well, a couple years ago, I realized that I had reached my dream, but it didn't feel like what I thought. I thought when I reached that dream, I would feel this great sense of security. I felt like I would have this great sense of joy, but that's not how I felt. I felt entitled. I felt guilty. In fact, I just felt sad. Let me take you back to that moment. A couple years ago, a friend of ours from Haiti came to visit us. His name is Pastor Gaston. We had this big party at our house on a Monday night. And the person that was taking him around, I asked him, said, hey, where have you taken Gaston? And come to find out, he hadn't seen any of San Diego. He had just gone from church to church to church to church. And I thought to myself, you know what? That will not do. It was a Monday. He was leaving on Wednesday. So I said to the person that he was leading him around, I said, hey, can I have Tuesday? And he said, yeah, sure. And so on that Tuesday, I picked Gaston up and we went to SeaWorld. I have a buddy who works there. I knew he'd get us behind the scenes. And we spent the whole day at SeaWorld. It was unbelievable. We saw Shamu splash people. We saw sea lions dance. And we ended the day, the back behind the scenes tour of the dolphins. And Pastor Gaston fed the dolphins snowballs by hand. It was amazing. And it almost didn't happen. We showed up at SeaWorld that morning, and come to find out, the park was closed. Well, SeaWorld is never closed. I thought, why is that? So I called my buddy who works there, and he said, a pipe has burst, and it's closed. It might not open, or it may open later. So I thought, now what am I going to do? So I decided I was going to take Gaston to breakfast. We sat down, we ordered, I was there with my daughter, and when they brought these big, giant plates of food, all of a sudden, I started to feel very self-conscious, thinking, what must this look like to Gaston, who lives in a very hungry country, to have these great big plates of food delivered? And so I turned to him and I said, hey, Gaston, how many people would you say in Haiti are hungry? And he said, I would say 75% are hungry. And then he stopped himself. He said, 75% are hungry, 50% are starving. In that moment, I realized that I'd reached my dream, that I was rich. I lived in a big house. I could eat whatever food I wanted. I drove a nice car. Just a couple miles down the road, I could drive down and go on a roller coaster. You know, it made me think that all the great gifts that God has given me, what am I doing with them? You know, if you live in this country, you're rich. You may not know it, but you're rich, because most people live on $2 a day. What are you doing with your riches?